Very feel. Yummy, yummy Ukrainian dessert. Like the yummiest you can ever ask for. It's like one of the easiest desserts to make. My mom taught me how to make these, and this is one thing we always have for every event. And guess who's always making it? This girl. That's like my one job my mom always has, like, you're gonna make these. And guess what we're making? We're making the ultimate, no, it's not ultimate, it's just a Nalisniki. This is how easy it is to make crepes. You can either use a Ninja blender or you can use just a mixer. The basic ingredients we have here, we have our flour, 2 cups of flour, our 8 eggs. We have 1/8 of teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of lukewarm water, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 stick of butter or 8 tablespoons of butter, and then 2 cups of milk. And as always, all the ingredients are down below in the description. So one of the biggest things that people screw up with this recipe is either their butter is way too warm and they scramble their eggs, which we don't want, and then also not measuring your flour correctly. What does that really mean? That means that you get your measuring scoop, and what you're gonna do, let me show you, I'll show you, hold on. You don't wanna just go in there with your scooper, just like scoop it like this, right there, because sometimes you won't have all the flour in there correctly. You can kind of bang it. But what I like to do is, I learned this from, I forgot who I learned it from, to measure the flour correctly. So what you do, you get a spoon and you spoon in your flour. So you get every single bit of the layers in your flour so it's correctly measured. The other thing is, you don't have to sift your flour right now. We will sift the mixture. We don't need to sift the flour right now. I'm really good at telling people to just saying the same thing twice. Now I'm just gonna add in all my wet ingredients. We're gonna add in our 2 cups of milk, and then butter. I already pre-melted this and it cooled down just a little bit. I just put a stick of butter into my plate and I just put it into the microwave for like 45 seconds, and I just left it out a little bit, and I'm gonna add in my lukewarm water. That was a cup of lukewarm water. And now we're gonna add in our 4 tablespoons of sugar, our 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm gonna add in now my eggs, my 8 eggs. So this should make like a whole dish of crepes. So that's why there's a lot. I'm just gonna crack in all my eggs into my Ninja blender, the fun part. Cracking eggs. And I like to use, usually whenever we make these, we make this with my mom, and she has her own homemade eggs. And the crepes are like this super, super bright yellow, orangey kind of color, which are so beautiful. Make sure you don't get any shells in there. Say these are organic. It's really only organic if you like grew it, if you know where it's coming from, if it's in your backyard. Now let's add our flour right into our Ninja blender. Nice and easy. You literally just add all your ingredients. We're just gonna pulse it, check it out. It's on. And then we're just gonna pulse it and just watch it, make sure it's blended well. I'm gonna stop it and scrape the sides a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna just scrape the sides a little bit. Get some of the flour off the sides. Voila. Okay, let's turn it back on. I'm just gonna check if everything's mixed together. It looks good. It was just blended for like 15 to 20 seconds. You can just double check and just make sure everything's blended well. It's not like exact amount. If you're doing it in your blender, in your KitchenAid mixer or hand mixer, you just watch, make sure it's blended really well. So what I'm gonna grab next, I'm just gonna put this away. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this bowl. You don't have to do this, but I like doing it just in case I screwed something up. Usually I don't, but this is just to make sure that there's no clumps, any flour, which you can tell, look how nice it is. There's no clumps, perfectly blended well, no issues. And it's just the flour that hasn't rehydrated and it just collects it. So whenever you like do your crepe, it's not in the crepe. At first, when you're starting out, your first few are like your practice ones. So you might have a little holes and tears. So what you're gonna need a 10-inch pan. I just grabbed a stick of butter, but just extra butter to butter your pan. You're gonna butter it and make sure whenever the butter starts sizzling like that, that means that the skillet is ready to go. And then also make sure you have a paper towel on hand. I know this might not be safe, but this just to wipe down the butter if there's too much, because if it starts burning, your crepes are gonna start being brown. These crepes are brown because my skillet was a little too warm. You kind of want it to be a little bit like on the lighter side, but it doesn't really matter. If you like them toasty, it's okay if you have them a little bit brown. It just adds more color to it. So then what I'm gonna be using, I'm using a 1/3 cup, little measuring cup. I'm just gonna grab some, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour it right in the middle of the skillet, and I'm gonna start moving it in circles right there. And then we're just gonna set it there. Once it starts, you'll see like the glaze will go matte. That's when you can start checking your crepe. You're gonna start scooping your sides like this so it doesn't burn. And then once it starts really going matte, then that means that it's almost ready. It's not matte all the way, it's still glossy right here. And then everybody's stovetop is different. So you want your stovetop like on medium low. You don't want it too high and you don't want it too low, because if it's too high, your crepe will start sticking and you won't get that perfect like shape. And then if it's too low, same thing, it won't cook correctly. So you want that perfect like medium to low heat. You'll get that beautiful crepe. So you kind of want to use a spatula actually for this part. What you're gonna do is just gonna put your spatula right underneath and just be really gentle. So there you go, just a little light color. You can have it a little bit more darker. You know, I'm a home cook, so we just kind of go with it. Once it starts like scooting off your skillet a little bit, you can start flipping it out. These are not gonna be eaten right away. You don't have to fully wait for them to really move in your skillet, because what they're gonna do, they're gonna be going into the oven for the next steps. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's a pretty one. So I'm just gonna flip it out. The other thing is you want your crepes if they're right away flipped on top of each crepe, then they're gonna stick together. What you're gonna do, you kind of want to space them out a little bit and let them cool before you start stacking them on top of each other, because what happens is they start sticking to each other. So you're just gonna put it right there, and then you're just gonna flip your next one over like that, and you're just gonna set it to the side, just kind of like overlay it, and it just starts cooling this one. While you're prepping your pan, it will cool and you can start going to your next one. Here. Try it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We used to do this literally with our fingers. We would just go like this and just like flip it. I remember by the end, I don't know why we didn't use like a spatula or anything like that. My fingertips were burnt. My mom still uses her hands. I don't know what the heck is up with that lady. She's got super hands. So while that one is cooking, I'm just gonna put this one on top of that. It's gonna wait because they already cool down. They cool down pretty fast if you have them overlaid like that. It's a lot of work, but I promise you it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's so good. It's so good. This is my last crepe. Woo, woo. It's worth it. I'm just gonna pour it right out right here. Swirl, 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 twirl, twirl, twirl. I mean, the biggest thing with the crepes, make sure your skillet is like that perfect heat. That's why I always say the first few are gonna be your practice ones, because you're gonna try to see what works for you making these crepes, but you wanna make sure it's on a nice medium heat. To make the filling of your crepes is you're gonna need some ricotta, 32 ounce ricotta. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think I want to say it like the Italians say it. Ricotta. I think that's how they say it. I hope I didn't offend anybody. We're gonna put in this entire ricotta in, and then we're gonna do 2 packs of the cream cheese. I should have already undid these, but this girl. And then the next, I'm gonna add in some sugar. So for this part, if you want your cream to be sweeter, you're gonna want to add like 4 to 5 tablespoons of sugar. Yeah, I know it's a lot, but that's a lot of ricotta. And then if you like it less sweet, do like 3 tablespoons. Really, you just wanna keep tasting it and make sure you like the sweetness of the cream. That's how my mama taught me. So let me add that in. And I already pre-softened my cream cheese so it's easier and it blends. I kept my cream cheese on the countertop just for the morning. So I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons sugar, and then I'm gonna blend it. And then we're gonna try it, see if we like it, because the crepes are not too sweet. So we want the cream to kind of like balance out. Let's mix it up. You're gonna blend it until it's smooth. I'm just gonna scrape the sides because some of the cream cheese got onto the sides. Just make sure it's well blended where the cream cheese is. It's not gonna be smooth because of the ricotta, but it's gonna be just blended really well. Needs more sugar. I threw in 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna throw in 1 more. I want it to be sweet. Like, I don't want it to be like super tangy because the ricotta is sweet already, but I want it to be that perfect sweetness. Some people don't like it super sweet. I just turned it up just to blend it a little bit quicker, but I'm gonna try it one more time. It's almost there. I wanna add in 1 more. So that's 5 tablespoons. Beautiful. I'm gonna add in just a little bit more. So I added in 6 tablespoons. Let me try it. Let me try it again. This is how Ukrainians cook, you guys, right here. I forgot. I'm supposed to add in 2 egg yolks too. Teaspoon of lemon juice. That's what my mom told me. Okay, 2 egg yolks. So I'm gonna just get 2 egg yolks really quick. Oh, I broke it. Okay, I don't break it. Come on. 2nd egg yolk. And then just a splash of lemon juice. Some people like to add in some vanilla, but I'm just gonna follow the recipe that my mom gave me. This is probably a capful of lemon juice, and I just added it in, and we're just gonna blend it right back up. Make sure it's mixed in really well. All right, I'm just gonna try it, make sure it's good. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Here, can you try it? See if you like it. And we're gonna grab our crepes and we're just gonna put the spread onto our crepes. And then you're gonna need at least like 2 tablespoons of melted butter, because once you roll your crepe, you wanna butter up your crepe and just keep going. It's brown casserole time, it's brown casserole time. I got my brown casserole dish that I thrifted. Even though it's from Target, it's thrifted. Transfer my crepes onto this little plate, and then what I'm gonna do, I melted about like 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna grab our crepe, find the side that you want. You can use whatever side you like. We're gonna just grab like 1 big spoonful, start slapping it together. Just making it even, and make sure you don't want to put too much to the sides, because when you roll it, it's gonna start coming out. Just fill it up. And then what you're gonna do is just gonna like kind of like tuck and roll. You don't have to have it too tight, but tight enough. You don't want it super tight where the cream is like coming out of the edge. There you go. And then this side is gonna go down. I'm actually gonna butter up my dish before I put it down. I'm gonna butter the dish. And you can use a glass dish, you can use whatever dish you have, just to help them from not sticking to the dish. And now it's gonna go seam side down, right there. Look at that beautiful boy, look at that, gorgeous. And you're just gonna continue until you get all of them. So it looks like I did 2 big tablespoons of cream, because you have plenty of cream for all your crepes. And if you have any leftover cream, you can just package it up and freeze it, or you can keep it for the next day, put it on your, well, the only thing is that it has egg yolks in it. I don't know how safe it is to eat it like that, but you can freeze it and just make more crepe later on and just reuse that cream. Once you put it down, you're gonna grab your butter and you're just gonna butter the top of each crepe, each individual crepe, because whenever they're in the oven, it just, they crisp up. And you just keep doing that after every crepe you put down. Like you can make a row and then put it over, put the butter on top, and then stack them on top, put more butter. Just, you get it, right? I don't think you can ever get sick of crepes, like these kind of Nalisniki. They're called Nalisniki, and they're so good. So you can also, whenever you put them in the dish, you can like kind of pack them in just a little bit like that. Scoot them in. And then we're gonna add more butter. Butter, butter, butter. Remember, we're just gonna keep stacking them on top of each other. Oh yeah, we can do the. Mommy's got you something. Are you gonna share? Are you gonna share?
Mom.
We're gonna go eat that so Mommy can finish.
Mom.
Okay, all right, let's go eat this and Mommy's gonna finish. You have to eat this one. Mmm, so yummy. Yeah. Add whatever, the butter is already hardened, but I'll just butter the top and I'm gonna put them in the oven for 20 minutes. And don't forget your aluminum foil. I'm gonna close these up. I'm gonna put this in the oven for 20 minutes. This is a totally optional stage. You do not have to do this, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some strawberries, and I only did like a half a pack. Just gonna clean them up, add a little sugar, immersion blend it, voila, that's it. That's pretty much it for the glaze. You don't have to cook it, you don't have to do any of that. And you can actually do raspberries, you can do whatever your heart desires. What accent was that? I just said like, whatever your heart desires. That's not even who knows. All right, I'm just gonna put these right in here. That was like 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then we're just gonna blend. I'm just making sure all the pieces are pretty blended, just like it's like a syrup pretty much. It smells so good. My grandma used to actually make this, and she would put sour cream and she would blend strawberries, and then we would eat it with her homemade black bread. Totally like bring me back to the good old days. That's kind of a weird combination, but it was so good. That was like our treat she would make. It's all done. Done, done, done. Let's hope I don't burn myself. I'm ready to try these. So excited. Oh yes. Yum, I'm about to pull one out, hold on. I got my little glaze right here. I probably should pick it up with a spoon. Hey, you want some too? They're really hot. So I pulled one out of our little thing. I'm gonna glaze it with our little strawberry jam. Yes. Okay, I have to try this. It might be a little hot. I mean, look at this plate. Why am I using this kind of plate? Oh my gosh. I know I always say that, but oh my gosh, you guys. Like, it's definitely not too sweet. It's perfect. It's not one of those overly sweet kind of desserts. This is definitely going to be one of those, it's one of those favorite dishes of mine that I can eat. I can just keep eating and eating and eating. And the next day, what you can do also, I got excited there for a second, but the next day you can grab them once they cool down and you can fry them up on a skillet, and it's even better. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for the behind the scenes. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys at our next video.